Hello manga fans, it's the Anime Spectator here with another Tokyo Ghoul chapter review. Yes, I'm doing it very early on a Sunday. Usually I don't do it until a Monday, but I have some extra time on my hands. So, let's dive right into this chapter of Tokyo Ghoul. So in this chapter we have a lot going on. You get to see Suzuya versus Uta. You know, who we know it's Uta in there, so, but you know, No Face versus Suzuya, which is a very intriguing battle. We get to see more of the Ure versus Donato stuff, and then we get some interesting stuff with Kaneki and the gang towards the end. So, let's talk about the Juzo stuff here. So, Juzo facing off against, No Face, who's Uta, and as we know, he's, can change his faces every now and again. I don't know too much about his ability, but, obviously we see him doing, some pretty interesting stuff where he's able to kind of, catch Suzuya off guard and, take the face of Shinohara. I thought that was very interesting, and we find out very interesting things here of what you can do with your Kagane. We learn a lot about the Kagane within just this one chapter. I mean, it's not something new, but it's just kind of at least a fresh reminder of you can do many things with a Kagane. You really can. It's not just weapons, they're possibly their own beings in a way. It's very interesting, and that's probably another topic on a whole nother video that I might even make, because here we see, Uta being able to use his Kagane to create a lookalike of Shinohara. And, obviously, it's just an illusion. It was, him playing, tricks on Suzuya, but it's very interesting on how he can do that, how he can, kind of change his face a little bit. And that also goes into the next section of the chapter, which is the Donato versus Ure fight. And I have to say, Donato is OP. He is so overpowered. He really is. This man, he only used his finger to fight Ure. And I'm not kidding. If you haven't read the chapter, go read the chapter right now. He literally, that was not Donato. Like, that wasn't the real Donato who was actually fighting Ure. It was his finger. You see at the end of the section of the chapter where you see Donato looking at his finger kind of just falling apart a little bit, and he's like, seems I've lost a finger. Which means he pushed Ure to his maximum, like, to the point, to his breaking point, basically, and going overboard with the RC cells, and it didn't even seem like Donato's seemingly finger wasn't even going all out. That was only his finger. Imagine of how powerful this guy is. If Ure, I'm 100% convinced Ure would not have stood a chance against the real Donato. I mean, this man is insanely powerful. Like, I am honestly, especially after seeing this, baffled that Ure's father was able to take this man down. Like, how was he able to take Donato down? Was it because Donato wasn't going all out? Because he was trying to protect Amon or something that was going on there? But, I don't know. Like, this man is OP. Like, if we ever get a Donato versus Kaneki battle, I know Kaneki is definitely really, really powerful, but I would be a bit concerned for Kaneki, because this man, he's insanely powerful. If his finger is able to push Ure to that breaking point, and it didn't even seem like he was going that all out, and that was just his finger, then imagine of how powerful this guy is like on his, like in his real body. I don't even know what to call it anymore. Just with his real self. Like, imagine the amount of power this guy is. It's just insane. And not to mention, Donato here was just playing mind games with Urei, and Urei was just going all out. And he was taunting him, saying, "The person you truly hate is your father himself. You've hated the weakling that died and left you behind all this while." I mean, and he was, taunting him, and I have to say, it was very depressing at the end, where Urei is just, like, yelling, "Someone please save me." And he's just on the ground, he's going crazy. I feel so bad for Urei. I really do. Like, Donato split this man's brain in half. And I am very curious on what's going to happen to Urei after all this. Like, really. And, moving on to the last portion of the chapter, where we get to see, Takizawa, Corona, and Kaneki going through the lab, kind of capturing a few people to make sure that, nobody calls for reinforcements and stuff. Then they come across some interesting things, such as when they find the RC suppressor drug. Kaneki, he's getting a little sick. Also to mention, Ayato, he's not that affected by it. He says, "It doesn't smell that good to me either, but, whatever." Kaneki is, getting really sick. He's kind of, getting dizzy. He's, holding on to the wall and, covering his mouth. And he's like, "I really don't feel good." You see Takizawa in the corner just throwing up. And it really shows, how much they've been, pushed. Like, Takizawa with, who knows whatever happened with him and Kano. Like, Kano must have put Takizawa through a lot of way more torture, or whatever the hell happened there, than Kaneki did. The Kaneki and Jason torture thing. I think that's, something that has something to do with how they're reacting. Because Ayato, he's like, it doesn't smell good, but he's not really reacting too much to it. There's a ton of suppressor drug canisters, like, everywhere. So that's why they're kind of reacting the way they are. And then, Takizawa, I think it was Takizawa that came across, maybe not. Maybe it was Kaneki that came across, but, yeah, it might have been Kaneki that came across, the next thing, but either way, they look into this machine, and they see the man himself, Kotaro Amon, and he does not look too good. And another thing, before that, they were seeing these like, other big, tubes of Rize. I would assume Rize clones. I don't know if it's just something like her, Kakuho, or if it's, actually, like, clones of Rize. I don't know what's going on there, but the whole Rize 77, Rize 78, Rize 79, I have no idea what's going on there. But here we have Amon, and I don't know if it's that same ordeal of Rize or something, or if he's going to be getting some of, like, Rize's, Kakuho or something. I don't know. But some people were questioning, is this the real Amon? I think it is the real Amon, because this Amon looks pretty fucked up. I don't know if it's just because they're looking through glass and you can't see his legs, but it looks as if he doesn't have legs. So I would assume that would have been from the, that final battle from the last arc. But, I always thought it was so weird of how they killed off Amon. They just brought him back, and then they decided to kill him off. I'm like, that's a bit Unshida-like, because it's just that we just got this character reintroduced in the first time of Tokyo Ghoul Re. I mean, we hadn't seen this guy since Tokyo Ghoul Part 1. And he gets killed off. I thought that was really weird. And plus, they kind of killed him off, I don't know what to say, off-panel, off-screen. It wasn't, like, he wasn't actually shown getting, like, stabbed and stuff. Like, we saw, like, what Psycho was kind of doing, but it was still, like, ambiguous. Like, you never really saw what actually happened to Amon. So I'm guessing the CCG picked him up and just decided to say, let's experiment on the guy. His arm doesn't look too good. It looks like veiny or scars or something. To me it looks like he doesn't even have any legs, unless that's just kind of how it looks through the glass or something. I don't know. And then you see Amon opening in his the Kakugan. The Ghoul eye opens up. So in the next chapter, it teases with saying a showdown with Kotaro Amon. I'm very curious on what's gonna happen there. It's gonna be an insane chapter with this Amon, and I don't know if this is like more like a, I don't know what you would call, like a mind-controlled Amon. Like, I'm very curious on what's gonna happen here. You know, what's happened to Amon. You know, where are they gonna go with this? Where's Ashita gonna go with this? So, I don't know, but I really enjoyed this chapter, and I'm happy that I was able to get this review out early on a Sunday, just, you know, like one day after the chapter came out. So, hopefully you guys appreciated that. I know this does not happen often to the new subscribers. I usually don't get this, you know, this video out until Monday, so it's just a rare time. So that's all I'm gonna say. This is the Anime Spectator.